many kids are going to high school next year? Okay, that's good. When you go to high school, it's a tremendous transformation of going from the middle school and playing with the big boys in high school. High school is 4 years. You start as a freshman. Usually when you go as a freshman, you go down in school, you start meeting new friends. Maybe because some of your friends in Willingboro, they'll go to different high schools, so usually there's a new crowd you have in there, and some of your friends from middle school follow you into high school, and if you're friends with them, you still remain friends, of course. But those high school kids, they have a big advantage on you because they've been there already, and they're an influence on things that you might do in high school. Now for me, a friend of mine said one day, you know, I don't like history. I'm not going to go to that class. I'm going to cut that class, I'm going to go to my math class. Or I'm just going to cut school and go hang out at the pharmacy and play pinball all day. And now you, as a freshman, with a new group of kids, say, you know, I'm going to go with you. So you start going with them, and we'll say 2 or 3 days in a row you cut school completely. Now it comes time for a test. You can't pass the test. You haven't been to school in 3 days, right? And you pass it. So now when you come home with a bad mark, with an E or an F, because you flunked the test, by the end of the marking period, and you have to bring that report card home to your parents, and they need to sign that, and they see a bunch of E's and F's on that, what's your parents going to think? That you're going to school, or you're stupid, or you're not going to school? What would you think if your child brought you home? Here, you. What's your name? Demont. Damont? Okay, Damont, if your son came home and handed you a school card with D's, E's, and F's, what would you think?
I'll be mad.
Well, besides being mad's only one thing. Just being mad doesn't, it's not the solution to the problem of being mad. You're disappointed, okay? But being mad and showing anger to your child is you're putting fear in that child. You shouldn't be doing that. Being upset about it, yes, but what would you say if he brought you that report card home?
I wouldn't get him none.
Say that?
I wouldn't get him none for Christmas or something.
Well, no, it's not about presents. You'd have to sit him down and say, why are these grades so bad? What have you been doing? Where are your test scores? Why don't you bring your homework home? Where are your books? And you know, he'll say, well, I got my books over at Jean's Pharmacy. We were playing pinball, and I forgot them there for the last 3 days I've been hanging there. That's why my report card's like this. Now you know what's going to happen. They're going to punish you, right? You're going to bring a bad report card home. Is anyone going to throw a party for you or punish you? Okay? But let's go on the other side. Let's go on the other side. Let's say you bring your report card home, and it's all A's and B's. And nobody's perfect. You don't have to get straight A's. As long as you try your hardest and you give it your maximum effort, your parents will accept any grade you want. One second. Your parents will accept every grade that you have. But what happens when you have all your grades are good and you show that report card to your parents? Is there any smiles in the room at that point? Huh?
Yeah.
Smiling? Happy? Okay. You want to ask me a question?
What if the best you could do is like all F's?
All F's? If the best you can do is all F's.
No, what if you was mentally retarded and ain't know? So you
Well,
got all F's.
first of all, that's almost impossible without someone knowing what's going on. But if you did do your best and you got all F's, I'm sure they would try to get you some type of help.
What would your parents do? Because your parents not know. Your parents are not. They're not teaching you. They're not going to tell you what's going on and give you more today.
At that point,
They all F's and go home and get your butt whooped.
you go home with all F's and you get your butt whooped. Okay. Well, at that point, I would think that if your parents are not caring about you, then you must have to go to your grandmother, your aunt and uncle, but someone that will listen to you and hear your message. If your parents are not hearing the message, you got to get it somewhere else.
They probably think that you're not doing your best.
But if you're not doing your best and you're getting F's, and it really sounds like if you get all F's, you're not doing your best. If they say to you, look, we're going to get you help. We're going to make these F's into D's. Do you want to get help? Because you got to go. So you can't make F's into A's. It's impossible. Not in one day. If you try hard, you can. It's like this though. When you try hard, it's correct. But you have to go up the ladder. It doesn't happen like that. Just because you try hard for 1 day or 1 week or 1 year, you're not going to have all A's. You got to try hard for the rest of your life. Okay? Anything that you do, you gotta try hard at. You have to put a maximum effort in. When you're reading the book, you absorb what's in that book, because when you have the test, you wanna get a good grade on that test. So this way you can bring good grades home to your mom and dad. And like I said, when you bring good grades home, you know what's gonna happen? Smiles, they're gonna throw a party, they'll take you out to a dinner or take you with friendlies for ice cream. You'll get rewarded. You won't get distracted. You'll get rewarded. They're figuring, wow, you're doing good. And they're gonna get interested, even if it's bad or good, but they should be interested in your grades. And you should be out there talking to mom and dad about your grades, or telling them about your day in school, what teacher you learned from and what you were learning. And go home right away after school and do your homework. Forget about the TV and the computer. That's not important. What's important is you listen to me and go ahead and do your homework.